Well, hello everybody. Welcome to HCA 410 Healthcare Finance. My name is Chris Gibbons. I'll be your instructor for the next 7 weeks. Scratch that. We're already 1 week down for the next 6 weeks. I'm shooting this video at the beginning of Module 2 on the summer semester of 2024. So you know this is live. Well, recorded, I should just say, as we're actually doing the course and not pre-recorded. All right, so what's new? What's with this video? Let's talk about that, and we'll kind of go into the class and kind of the layout of these videos and all this stuff. So sit back. I won't hopefully take too much of your time. But videos. So every week in this area here that you see around you, which is the front page, the landing page of the course, you're going to see a weekly blog video. Usually post them on Monday, but it might be a Wednesday. However, there'll be these weekly video blogs that you'll definitely want to watch. So if there's any important news or any changes that we do to the course, hint, hint, watch this video. I'm going to make those announcements within these weekly updates. So before you jump in there and start doing your modules and doing your assignments, make sure you look in this area if there's any update videos. Sometimes, if it's a very quick update, not worthy of a video, I'll just put a little text notification in this area as well. It should be really clear, though, when we have an update, that it's right here at this top section, this news and announcements area, right when you enter the course. All the old information for the course that we had on that landing page, which I like to leave up for the first week, is still there, and it's just down below, so you can scroll down if you need that information. Okay, that covers this whole area here. With the videos, what I like to do, again, these course updates, and then also talk about what we're doing this week and kind of recap what we did last week, if there were any issues or general performance, that kind of stuff. So there'll be a flow to that. This one will be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about some general things of the course, then we'll talk about last week, and then we'll talk about this week, and important updates will be in this video. So definitely watch to the end. All right, one of the things I would like you to do is make sure, if you haven't done it already in week 1, make sure you've printed out yourself the syllabus. I think the syllabus is a great thing. I normally don't try to stay away from paper, but this is the one thing I would print out. I'm assuming most of you have a physical textbook, so it's always a nice thing to keep in there. Fold it, put it right in there. You kind of have the general flow of the course. There's a couple of things really that are the most valuable. One is the grade section here, shows a breakdown of all of the assignments and the points kind of in one summary format. And as you can see here, this course is based off of, it's hard to do in a video, this course is based off of 1,000 points. So it makes it really easy for math. If you have 970 points, you got an A. It's as simple as that. Our grading scale would be 930 points would be an A. 920 would be a B. If you have 920, I'm probably going to round up for you, but technically you don't want to really be in that low 900 area, because that's definitely B territory. So very easy for you to calculate as you see the points being earned, and that's what this is. It's a point game. Grab all of the easy points in the course. Let's look at, as we talk about that, how this course is generally structured. One of the things you'll see in here is also the second most valuable thing is the course schedule. We'll pretty much stick to that. Again, we might make some changes as we go, but we're going to kind of stick to this course schedule so you can see what's due, what you have to read, that kind of stuff, and the course schedule. But let's talk about how to be successful. Again, I mentioned this is a numbers game. You want to get every point that you can, and there are some easy points. I've designed this course to be pretty hard to fail, as long as you kind of put in good faith effort. The way that I do that is that you have these weekly quizzes, which you get 3 attempts. there's really kind of no reason not to totally max out on these quizzes, because you can always, gives you 3 attempts. There's usually 4 answers per quiz, per question. So, you can pretty much fine tune that by the time you take that 3rd attempt. And I'm only recording the highest or 3rd attempt, whatever your highest is. I mean, there's no reason to retake it after you've already scored max score if you haven't used up all of your 3 attempts. So with that, chapter quizzes, 560 points. All of you should get the 560. Easy. Weekly discussion or progress journals. For most of the weeks, we're going to have weekly discussions about various finance, healthcare topics. Just participate in those discussions. Read the directions, fulfill those directions. You'll get full points. Where most people get points off in discussions is they do not do, for whatever reason, this is pretty consistent for people that don't get the full points, which is most people get full points. But for those that don't, it's almost always this. So here's another secret. They don't do the 2 peer responses. Just make sure you do the 2 peer responses. That's what I'm looking for. Did you follow the directions in the main post? Is it meaningful? Is it readable? There's at least some decent grammar there. And again, do they follow all the basic requirements for that initial post? And then I'm looking for those 2 meaningful responses, not just, hey, great post, John, keep at it. No, you do want to say something at least meaningful, that you've actually read it, thought about it, a little bit of reflection in that post. But those are easy points for the weekly discussions and the chapter quizzes. If you add those up together, 700 points, okay? The difference, those other 300 points are going to come from a midterm and a final. Now, we do have a couple of things to kind of make you aware in Module 2, so you can be aware of it now, is both the midterm and final will be proctored. If you haven't done a proctored experience here at Mercy College, most students usually have by this point, especially with COVID, but we use a company called ProctorU, and it's basically you're going to schedule the time to take your exam. You'll have some flexibility. You can do this from your comfort of your own home. Again, I'm saying this for the benefit of those people who have not yet done this. And a live proctor will guide you through the process. You'll be on camera, so you have to have a camera, which was one of the requirements, basic technological requirements for the program. You will be on camera. They'll lock down your browser. You won't be allowed to have, I do allow, I think, a scratch paper and a pencil, but no electronic devices or anything like that. And they will monitor as you're taking that test through your webcam. The reason for this, I've had students, well, Chris, why do we have to do it this way? Well, a little thing called AI, which is pretty amazing, and we'll probably be doing some stuff. I'm now rapidly deploying AI throughout the entire program. I'm also the program director, and I'm the coordinator for our master's program. And we are rapidly, as rapid as we can, deploying AI in our courses as a good thing. I don't want any student to graduate here without knowing how to use AI. I guess there's always worry about job loss with AI. Yes, there will be job loss with AI, especially for those people that don't know how to use it. So if there is one professional skill to focus on in your careers going forward, it is how to use AI effectively. Do not ignore it. Embrace it and learn how to use it, because it's a tool that's amazing. Okay, so I'll get off my soapbox there on AI. We'll talk more about that. I'm thinking about some cool things that we're going to do after the midterm with AI. But what AI can do, is I can give it a multiple choice exam, cut and paste, drop it right into the AI, and it will solve all of the answers for me with explanations for the answers. So yeah, there's really no way for me to, I need to assess that you've actually learned stuff as a human and that you're not collaborating with the AI in those areas. Now, we're going to do some AI collaboration after the midterm, but in order to preserve the quality of your degree and to ensure that you've actually met our learning objectives, we have to have these proctored experiences. And that's why we're going to have those two, the midterm and the final, and they're somewhat heavily weighted at 30% of your grade. But if you just do the math and you do the easy stuff, you do the 700 points, again, easy, and then you just put forth some good faith effort to do even moderately well on the midterm and the final, you're going to pass the course. And if you actually put in good effort into the midterm and final, you're looking at a kind of an A-B range for sure. So that's how I make this course relatively hard to fail as long as you put in good faith effort. Okay, there we go. We've talked about the proctored experience. We've talked about the general kind of layout of the course and those how to be successful in the course and trying to get every point that you can. Now, let's kind of go into our normal format for these update videos. So with Module 1, everything seemed to go pretty smooth for most of you guys. I didn't get a lot of questions. There were one or two questions from the group about some of the questions within the quizzes. But for the most part, that seemed to be relatively fixable. The other issue that has happened in Module 2 this week, and I'm shooting this on Monday, I've had about 3 questions on the quizzes. So I've jumped in there, looked at them, and I've seen what's going on. So here's the situation. What we have, there is a new edition of the textbook. So it was great. Got a new edition, fantastic. It came with chapter questions for me, which I've used in the past with previous editions. They do come with, I guess instructor aids and like, here's a 20 question quiz that goes with our new chapter. I'm like, it's awesome, super. Well, I'll shave this down to 10 questions and we'll go ahead and use that. Finding out very quickly, especially this week, that the publisher, it's 90% my fault, so I'll say that, but the publisher did not update the questions with the new edition of the textbook. I went back and looked and it's like, these are the same exact, let's see, we're on 7th edition. No, we're on, I don't know what edition we're on. We are on 6th edition, and these questions are exactly the same as the 5th edition. And yet they changed some of the chapter content. So I guess I assumed that they had also updated the quiz questions that were provided to me with the new chapter, with the new textbook. I should have reviewed all of those questions to map them out to make sure that they were in there. They looked right. They looked about the same. I was going to, oh, this is great. So I do apologize for that because there are some questions that do not align with any of the content. They apparently removed it or moved it to a new chapter. As I'm finding these things this week in Module 2, I'm trying to correct that. There was also a question that was keyed in incorrectly. I was talking to a student, and he's like, I can't get the math to work. And I'm like, well, let me check it out. And like, sure enough, like, okay, no, that's not that. The question was keyed in incorrectly with the answer. So that's been fixed. Points have been awarded. If you got it wrong, if you didn't get it wrong, points were awarded for that particular question. Again, it was one of these more mathy oriented questions, which I know bring anxiety. There's a lot of math anxiety out there, even with some, I guess, not even non-formula math, just sort of pluses and minuses. And I know that can, bring some concern to folks as they see numbers and a problem. All right, so what we're going to do going forward, what I'm going to do, and I do apologize for that. Again, I should have vetted those questions. Module 3, we're in the kind of, Module 2 is kind of launching and going, so I'm fixing these things as I find them. Awarding points if you missed it, if you didn't miss it. Module 3, I'm going to do a complete scrub. We're just going to wipe out all of those quizzes, and I'm going to go ahead and write new quizzes from the textbook. But it takes me a few days to do that, so I have to do it, this week. So, Module 3, hopefully, knock on wood, will be all set going forward from Module 3 all the way to the end of the course, now that I have identified we have an issue. The, again, I think what may be happening for you guys in Module 2, since you do have 3 attempts, you're just eventually keying in whatever answer that it wants. Not the best way to learn, but I'm assuming some of you probably have just been fine with it because you got the full points on it. But stay tuned. I think so far I've noticed there were some issues. Again, thanks to one of the students in the class who's kind of working ahead in chapter 8. I think those are all fixed for that quiz in chapter 8. But if any of you see additional issues this week, especially as you're going through these quizzes, let me know. Now, the other thing I mentioned just briefly offhand is working ahead. I've had a few of you reach out, 2 of you reach out about, can I work ahead? Can you unlock the modules? So what I have done is I have unlocked all of the modules with for the entire class. The caveat or the warning I have for you right now, I know some of you are going on vacation and wanting to work on Module 3. Go forth for that one individual. Go forth and work on Module 3 and do the best you can on the quizzes. I have not yet corrected Module 3 as I've been talking for the problems that may, again, I haven't looked at it. Maybe Module 3 is fine, but I'm guessing we're going to have issues all the way through. I've got to fix those quizzes. So stay tuned. For the rest of you, I would say hold off on working ahead until I can catch up and get Module 3 set. I don't want to lock anything down right now. If you do want to go in there and look at it and attempt it, I'm not going to hold any, you're going to be awarded points kind of one way or the other for bad questions. If the question isn't bad, and you decide to take 3 attempts and you still don't get the right answer, well, then you'll be locked into that. So use caution is what I'm trying to say. If you want to move ahead to Module 3, I would, if you can, wait. If you can't, because we've already talked about you doing Module 3 to work ahead because you're maybe on vacation next week, or out of town, on a cruise, whatever, go ahead, go forth with it. We'll make it right. If there's any errors in there, I'll award the points for bad questions that may show up. Okay. So there is that. That's kind of the course news. We're going to be fixing, or the course big update, fixing these quiz questions. The next thing is the midterm. I've already gotten questions about how do I study for it? Because there's a lot of points on the line, and it is proctored, so you have to know your stuff. I'm going to provide you a study guide, and also I'll maybe shoot a video with maybe some question review or question, quick look at maybe some of the style or types of questions that will be on the midterm. Again, we are going to highly pull from questions that are on the quizzes. So, Chapter 3 will be good, or say Module 3 will be good, Module 4 will be good. That's when we have our midterm. Module 1 seemed to be okay for the most part, so you can feel pretty good about studying those questions from your quizzes. But I will provide you a kind of a study guide, what to focus on from the textbook, because it's gonna be on the midterm, and I'll do the same thing for the final. So again, if you're working ahead and blazing ahead, I would recommend wait. At least wait until I can get caught up through modules 3 and 4, which, you might have to wait. If you wanted to take the midterm this week, I'd probably really wait on that. So, and that is working kind of fast ahead if you want to go that far. All right, so there we go. Hopefully we've answered all of your questions, so I haven't confused you completely. Long story short, try not to work ahead if you don't have to. And if you do have to because you're leaving town, I'll take care of it. Well, even if you get the questions wrong and that's a bad question, you'll be awarded points for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. If anything else comes up, let me know. If you see any other issues, especially this week in those quizzes. All right. Oh, and as far as getting a hold of me, it's very easy. Some of you have already been using email. You're using the email within Canvas, which is perfectly fine. But also, you'll see right above this video is my cell phone number. So use that for text messages if you wish. It's a great way to get a hold of me. You can usually get an answer back in a few minutes, where email might be a few hours or a day or two if I'm off on the weekends. Generally off on the weekends. I do try to pop in, but generally, if you have a question, try to have it by Friday so you're thinking ahead a little bit. I do try to stay away from the electronics as much as possible because I spend all week on them, so I try to step back from that during the weekends. All right, there we go, guys. So don't be bashful to text me. Usually you can get a quicker response. All right, there we go. That's pretty much it for this week. Everybody have a fantastic week, and I will check in with you next Monday. Thanks.